Hello, good people of YouTube. Sealord here, and the subject of today's video holds a special place in my heart because today's ship that we're talking about was, first off, one of the first premiums that I bought in this game, but a ship I have fond memories of visiting when I was in high school and dropping by a couple more times. A ship that is thankfully getting the love that she needs in real life, and that is, of course, the Tier 5 Premium American Battleship, the Texas. This ship is seriously overdue for some love from the devs. I really don't know how this ship hasn't gotten some slight buffs here or there in the past couple of years. Because this ship, the Texas, if you guys don't know, back in the day, this ship's whole thing is that it's a Tier 5 battleship with literally Tier 8 AA levels. Now, back in pre 8.0, keep in mind, this ship got murdered in Update 8.0 in the CV rework. It's been 5 full patches just about since this ship has been ruined. Alright? So what they ruined about it? So that Tier 8 AA. Back in the day, the Texas's AA could get out to around 6 kilometers, which is quite far, even by today's standards. And within that 6 kilometer AA bubble around the Texas, planes would simply cease to exist because Wargaming took Texas's history and kind of just went with it, right? So the ship in real life was one of the first, I believe the first ship in the US Navy to have dedicated AA guns. And, well, Wargaming said, that sounds cool, so we're going to give it just an absolutely absurd level of AA. Now, the ship in real life, like many American ships throughout the war, just kept getting more and more AA guns, bolted to the decks and stuff, and the ridiculous amount of AA guns you see on the ship in game, that is how many guns she had in real life. And I'm sure once she returns to her new permanent home, they'll probably bolt the AA guns back on. So I would highly, of course, encourage you guys to go visit her when she does leave dry dock. You can see all of the just ridiculous amount of AA guns that the ship does indeed have. So yeah, Wargaming took that concept and frickin' ran with it, right? So back in the day, literally no CV could touch you. If they dare enter within your AA range, even without an AA build, they were probably going to lose all their planes. And this is back when CVs had a limited number of planes, so many a CV player would simply leave you alone if you were in the Texas because they cannot risk losing their planes. And you could do this with, Tier 4 CVs all the way up to, back in the day, Tier 7 CVs. They would literally just not even touch you. Even Tier 8 CVs wouldn't go near you if you somehow got, triple up tiered, like say you divvied up with a friend in a Tier 6 ship. They would just leave you alone because they do not stand a chance of getting through your AA bubble. Also, way back in the day on the channel, I ran an AA gauntlet test where I took a bunch of AA ships and put 12 midways on the other side of the training room back when you could do that. And Texas, to no one's surprise, was one of the top performers because, yeah, go figure, it's got that much AA bolted to its deck. So, what happened in 8.0? Well, in Update 8.0, Wargaming, in their wisdom, standardized AA across the board for nations, which means the range was standardized across the board for, Tier 5 American battleships have this much range, Tier 6 American battleships have this much range. That's why, the Italian ships, their AA range is all 4.5 kilometers, which is atrocious, right? Well, what that did to the Texas is that it took that nice 6 kilometer AA bubble and it shrunk it down to a whopping 3.5 kilometers, which is nothing. If you've seen any of the reviews for the Italian ships, their AA is always laughed at because they have 4.5 kilometer AA. 3.5 kilometer AA is just pointless. Now, within that 3.5 kilometers, yeah, the AA is really good. She still has her DPM, but no one's going to stay within that 3.5 kilometer AA bubble. I don't think CVs could even do that if they tried, really, because on this game scale, 3.5 kilometers is like nothing. To give you guys an idea, assured detection is 2 kilometers. If you ever like push a DD in the smoke, when you assured detect it from 2 kilometers away, it looks like you could hop from one ship to the other ship. 3.5 kilometers is only another kilometer and a half away from that. So that's how small her AA bubble is now. So her AA, her main thing, is pretty much useless by today's standards. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the trade-off she had to give up in order to get that tier 8 AA level. What I mean by that? Well, of course, the ship had to be balanced in some way, shape, or form, right? And the Texas, like her sister, the New York, does have 10 14-inch guns at tier 5. That is a lot of firepower at tier 5. So understandably, you want to give the ship that has 10 14-inch guns tier 8 AA, something's got to give. Well, it gave in 2 ways. One, her range. She has a much shorter range than her sister, the New York. The maximum range on the Texas base is 19 kilometers. Compare that to the New York, whose range is 20.9 kilometers. So not a huge loss there, but still a loss in range. The real loss comes with the reload time. The Texas, whose guns are exactly the same as the New York, except for the range being shorter, has a 35.3 second reload time. 34 seconds. That is a long reload time. 34.3 seconds. The New York has a flat 30.3 second reload time. I don't know why I said flat, because it's 30.3 seconds. She has a 4 second longer reload time than her sister. With the exact same guns, the exact same shells, the exact same parameters, except that the Texas's range is shorter by a little bit. For some reason, this hasn't been rectified. I don't know why. Because the Texas today is quite literally just a worse New York. She has a longer reload time. She has shorter range. On the exact... Again, there's no difference in the guns whatsoever. They are exactly the same, yet she has a 4 second longer reload time. Now, yeah, back when, the ship was a plane blender, obviously, that was a fair trade-off, because, if you have the ability to just eat all the planes that CV sends at you, that's going to increase your XP earnings and your credit earnings by quite a bit. So you got to have some trade-off there, and plus it's going to be, just a powerful ship either way. But nowadays, when the AA is only mildly better than the New Yorks, why does this ship still have a 4 second reload and a shorter range than the New Yorks? There's no logic behind it. And it's not like this is a ship that's constantly topping the leaderboards in the first place. A whole myriad of ships have been added to the game since this ship's introduction, right? And it's just, why? Why hasn't this been buffed Wargaming? I'm not saying I want to get like a 27 second reload or anything on the Texas, but just something a little bit extra. A 2 second reload buff would be great. Dropping it down to 32 seconds. It's a lot more manageable. I mean, realistically, you could drop it down to 30.3, the same as the New Yorks, and just leave it at that. Still leave it with a shorter range, because both ships have a spotter plane, right? You're trading a little bit of range to have slightly better reload than slightly worse reload than the New York, right? So, yeah. If you do it by 2 seconds, again, I do think you could drop down to 30 flat. You have the same reload time as the New York, but slightly less range for slightly better AA. Why? Why? There's no reason. And this is a ship that really does deserve this. The ship is still around, thank God. She's the last Dreadnought-style battleship in the world that's preserved. Mikasa doesn't count. Pre-Dreadnought, plus it's in concrete. Texas still floats. It's going to float a lot better after she gets out of dry dock as well, And, again, the ship has a lot of first for, just naval warfare in general. First ship to be mounted with AA guns. She was the first, I believe, U.S. ship to be mounted with radar, maybe? There's a whole list of first. If you go to the Texas when she's reopened, they gladly talk about that, as they should. But anyway, yeah, no, this is a ship that deserves some love, Wargaming. This is a ship that really needs some help in game. And what's really funny is that in the 2 matches I played to get background footage for this video, I went up against 2 New Yorks, and both of these New Yorks were a-hole New Yorks, so they had less HP than the Texas does, which is, based off of the New York's B model. So even though they had less HP than me, both of them had a huge advantage because they had a 4-second faster reload than I did. So they were able to, sling their shells at me and whittle down my HP faster than I could whittle down their HP because they had faster reloads. Well, actually, the second one didn't really do that great of a job because he forgot he had AP shells for most of the match, but eventually he found the 2 key. I believe that's the match you're watching in the background right now. But yeah, despite having like a 6,000 HP advantage, it didn't matter because they had a 4-second faster reload and more range than I did because, yeah. But yeah, Wargaming, it's beyond time to give the Texas some love. She needs it. Again, it's not going to break the game if you give her the New York's reload or just 2 seconds off the reload or something. Or even do something neat, like give her the ability to flood her ballast tanks like she did at Normandy, to where she can have, longer range, and maybe give her a 50% debuff to her speed when she does that. That'd be cool. I think it would, and you'd probably even sell more of the things now because of that. So there's a free idea, Wargaming. You could do that. You could do that without even touching the reload time. Give her that ability to flood her torpedo blisters and give her a little bit more range. It could only give you like, like a 10% range buff or something for that. That'd be great. But will they do it? I don't know, but it's long overdue either way. So guys, let me know what you guys think about the Texas in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a great whatever day this is coming out. I'm on a road trip to go see some museum ships. You can check out the second channel for some more up-to-date updates with that. I think that's proper English. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys have a wonderful, again, whatever day this is. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.